Hey, we're almost finished with this book. Almost. Right now we are at part 4, story 4, choosing the best. Illustration by Russell Harlan, an oil painting. That's what it looks like. And what it says on the caption says, the servants of Abraham and Lot quarrel over the division of land. But Abraham was a man of peace, and he settled the trouble by allowing Lot to choose the best of the land. Okay, so that's where we're at. Part 4, story 4, choosing the best. The journey out of Egypt was not a happy one. True, Abraham had become very rich with cattle and silver and gold. So had Lot, who now had many flocks and herds and tents. Oh, yeah, I went back and read. Yeah, Terah was with him. And Terah, which was Abraham's great father, he was with him. I made sure I looked the other way. Let's get back. But there was a different spirit in the caravan. The servants were quarrelsome. When they camped at night, there were angry words and blows. The Bible says there was strife between the herdsmen of Abram's cattle and the herdsmen of Lot's cattle. One reason for the trouble was that there wasn't enough grass to feed so many animals. Quite likely, too, there were not enough wells to which to water them, and the land was not able to bear them, that they might dwell together. For their substance was great, so that they could not dwell together. Ugh, very confusing King James Version. Something had to be done. One couldn't journey to the land of promise with strife and in the camp. Now again we see the real greatness of Abraham, calling Lot to him and said, so kindly and gently, let there be no strife. And then we turn the page. I pray thee, between me and thee, and between my herdsmen and thine herdsmen, for we are brethren, for we be brethren. Is it not the whole land before thee? Separate thyself, I pray thee, from me. If thou wilt take the left hand, I will go to the right. If thou depart to the right hand, I will go to the left. Ugh. Sometimes King James, you get things confusing. How gracious of him. It surely was, being in charge of the caravan, he could well have chosen the best for himself. But he didn't. Instead, he gave his nephew the chance to choose. What an example to us. Lot didn't deserve such kindness. After all that Abraham had done for him, he should have said, dear uncle, you choose first, and I'll gladly take what is left. But he didn't. Instead, Lot lifted up his eyes, and behold, all the plain of Jordan, and in it was well watered everywhere, even as the garden of the Lord. Then Lot chose him all the plain of Jordan, and Lot journeyed east, and they separated themselves from one another. Abram dwelled in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelled in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent towards Sodom. Almost did a foreshadowing. Looking down from the mountainside upon a beautiful valley below, green and lovely in the morning sunshine, with the silver thread of the river Jordan running through the midst of it, Lot said to himself, "What a wonderful place to live! What fine pastures for my cattle! How rich I shall become down there!" Perhaps, too, as he saw the valley dotted with little villages and the city of Sodom in the distance, he thought how nice it would be to settle down and be comfortable instead of roaming around the country with Abraham. What a good time he could have had in Sodom, with its fine markets and many places of amusement. He knew very well that Sodom was a wicked city, for everybody was talking about what was going on there. But he felt that it would be all right for him to live there. Ooh, ooh, questionable. Nothing would happen to him. It might be dangerous for others, but he would be all right. Anyway, anyway, he could take the risk. So Lot made his choice. He chose the plain of Jordan with the fine grazing land, its plentiful water, and its cities, and he pitched his tent towards Sodom. It was the worst thing he could have ever done, the biggest mistake of his life. Unbeknown to him, the beautiful valley was soon to be a battlefield. The people living in those pretty little villages were soon to be taken captive by by invading armies. As as for Sodom, the big tempting city that was about to be utterly destroyed by fire. It never pays to be selfish. Sometimes a person who grabs the best for himself may seem to profit for a while, but in the long run he is bound to lose. We shall pray. We should pray for the grace and greatness of Abraham, for he gave first choice to somebody else. And then, of course, it does have a bottom illustration. I think it's watercolor. And that's the full part. And then, of course, the animals. I guess this way. The shepherd, and then all the animals. And let's see what we have. And that was the end of part 4, story 4. And now we go to the next one.